Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to Briggs and Mortar Heights Facebook Live. My name is Michelle Briggs. I'm with Strata, Texas, and this is Tips Tuesday with Ali Quiroz with Quiroz Inspection. How are you doing today, Ali?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How you doing, Michelle?
Good, good. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with me. I know the housing market is going crazy and you're super busy. And this is a great topic for those that currently own a home, they're looking to sell, people that are looking to buy a home. This is a part of that process. So I wanted to bring Ali to Tips Tuesday so he can share with you a little bit about what it looks like to have your home inspected. So say hello, Ali. Tell us a little bit about you and about your company.
So hello, everybody. My name is Ali Quiroz, and I am owner-operator of Quiroz Inspections. We are veteran-owned and operated. We've been in business for roughly 2.5 to 3 years. I studied at the school, Champion School of Real Estate, and that's where I got all my certificates and got licensed and insured. And it's been a fun ride. My background is actually from oil and gas. And, back in 2018, there was a change in management and I had to look into other avenues, and I jumped into real estate, home inspections, and I haven't looked back since, and I love it.
I love it. I agree. And those that are watching, or you that are watching on the replay, we all know Champion School of Real Estate. They're one of the, if not the number one training for inspectors, realtors. That's where I took my training to become a realtor. So it's very, very popular. Rosemary Santa Maria is the founder of that. So she's a great person to know as well. So let's get started. So again, this is really looking at a home inspection. There's so much to it. And if you've seen one, you've seen that it's several pages long. And there's lots of pictures and arrows and all kinds of stuff. And it's a plethora of information. So why should we have a home inspected?
So the importance of a home inspection mainly is to get educated on your purchase. I mean, a home is one of your biggest investments in your life. It's one of those things that you have to know what you're buying. And a home inspection basically highlights, the things that, could be wrong inside the home. And, as home inspectors, we're generalists. A lot of people think we're experts in all trades, and which is a negative. We're generalists. We could be compared to, let's say, doctors. You go into a doctor's office and they probe, poke, and, mess around, take your temperature, and they let you know, like, you may have this, you may have that. And then they send you to a specialist to further, examine whatever that may be. And so that's what we're basically is generalists. And we're kind of educated in all the trades. I don't know if anybody has actually seen the Texas SOP, but it's a fairly thick book of just all the, they get down to the 1/4-inch measurements. And when you take the test, it's actually, it's 2 separate tests, a state and a national exam. And it's a fairly lengthy process, but just ensure yourself to get a home inspection, because that's just, getting educated is one of the biggest tools you have in your bag. And I know, and plus, to add to that, once you get educated in your purchase, you have what's called negotiating power, and that is, that on behind you, helping you push through that transaction is very powerful.
It really is. And you mentioned SOP. Just for those that may not know what SOP, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's standard operating procedures.
Practice. Yes.
Excellent.
That is standard operating practices.
Oh, standard operating practice. I was close. I was close. So exactly, when you talk about having the knowledge and it's something to become educated about the home that you're purchasing, it's because you want to know if there's something not working. You want to know if the AC is cooling properly.
Correct.
You don't know if you're buying a home from someone that that was a journeyman electrician, never became got the certification and so forth, but he still feels like he knows how to put that new plug in or whatever the new, I don't know, electrical scares me, but you get the point, right? So you're there for those individuals to see those really finer points, those details, because you really get, I'm telling you, I've used him. It's very detailed, very, very, very detailed. So I love that. Now, when you have to have your home inspected, this is why, because you get to see what's possibly wrong that you guys do. You are general, so it's great to know that you touch on everything and you detail that out, and that you can utilize this report for negotiations. It's
Correct.
really important. And why, how do you prepare for an inspection? That's really kind of what it is. When when you have your own home and you're the seller, you can get your home inspected so that way you can see what can be fixed before the buyer comes in and have their own inspector come in and check it out. But as a home buyer, I'm like, how do you prepare for an inspection?
Okay, so there's a couple things you can do to prepare for inspections. I guess on the seller side, prior to getting a home inspection, I highly recommend that you have HVAC guy or electrical guy just come out and just give it a once over. Get, for example, the HVAC system, get it cleaned. Get the outside unit cleaned, the inside unit cleaned, the ducts, make sure they're clean. Hire a chimney sweep to just look inside the chimney and make sure that there's no buildup, make sure it's sealed properly. Some of the biggest things that well, not biggest, but some of the most common deficiencies that I basically notice is outside. There's the hose bibs. They should have vacuum breakers. Those are fairly simple. You can buy those at Home Depot for maybe maybe under $15, and put them outside at the hoses. And those prevent any wastewater from coming back into the potable water supply. And also, just clearing items around, major components. Like if there's an electrical panel, make sure that space around there is clean and just so the inspector can actually access it. And I know I went to a house yesterday where I had to exclude the electrical panel because the owner had, bikes and shelves and all that stuff. And as home inspectors, we're not really required to move items because I've actually heard some inspector horror stories where they would move a shelf just to look at the electrical panel, and then the occupant, says, "Hey, don't touch my shelves. That actually means something to me, and if you move it again, it was basically, it wasn't a good situation." And that's why as inspectors, we're not allowed to touch belongings, to move couches, to access components, because we don't know, what significance that item holds. And if we were to damage it, then hey,
That's what I was about to say. If they claim that you broke it 2 days after you've done the inspection, it's really your word against them. And as a business owner, it just doesn't put you in a very good position, right?
Correct.
So we want to move the stuff away from the electrical boxes. What else is there?
Like I've been to homes where the attic access, like the occupants have cars parked in the garage, and of course we don't have the keys to the vehicles. Make sure those items are clear so we can properly access areas and inspect and annotate these deficiencies. Other areas include the outside, actually inside the attic. Many people like to store items around the space around the HVAC system upstairs. And again, like we can't get into areas. We have to exclude it because we're not going to be moving around stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. There was a bad apple somewhere many years ago that kind of created that, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or an inspector that may have broke something. I don't know. I know you don't do that because we did have a spot that unfortunately that you weren't able to access because there was something in the way. So that's on us, right? And to your point about being prepared when you're buying a home, you're watching this, take notes, right? call Ali, because, you know, and he'll have that conversation with you. So as you as a buyer, your selling agent probably knows this, and the listing agent probably knows it. But however, it's great to say, hey, will you make sure that the listing agent tells their clients to move things out of the way of the electrical box? So we're going to have the home inspected. We don't want to miss anything because there's something in the way that could have been moved prior to. So it's a nice, it's very smart to do that. And it's a reminder for me as a realtor to do that. So I totally get it. Well, if you are just joining us today, my name is Michelle Briggs. I'm with Strata, Texas. I'm a residential realtor. This is Ali Quiroz with Quiroz Inspections. And today we have already talked about why you need your home inspected or a home inspected. We talked about how to prepare for an inspection. We were just sharing about that. And if you want to get a hold of Ali, below, just put in hashtag Rose, R-O-S-E. So below, R-O at hashtag Rose, R-O-S-E, and Ali will reach out to you and you guys can have a conversation. Ali, if someone catches this, watches it, and has a few more questions, would you be open to having a conversation with them?
Oh yes, definitely. I get calls from time to time, is just asking questions, and I'd be happy to help them as well.
Excellent. Well, perfect. I appreciate that greatly. So today, hashtag Rose, to get a hold of Ali. He'll reach out to you. You can set up a conversation, or if you have a home that's needing an inspection right now, reach out, hashtag Rose. He will reach out to you and get that set up for you. So that's an easy one. I like that, hashtag Rose. I like that. All right. So today, excuse me. So one of the things, and we have to talk about this. Why should they choose Quiroz Inspection as their inspector?
All right. So why me? Okay. So here are just three quick reasons as to why choose me. So Texas SOP only requires inspectors to test what they call a representative amount of receptacles, windows, doors, switches, outlets, etc. And it never really gives a clear definition of representative. It could just be one or two in the home, and you call it fine. But with my company, Quiroz Inspections, we aim to test every single accessible component. So, and that's why it may take us a little bit longer to do an inspection, but that's the dedication we put into there. Like, we want to make sure that we get as much deficiencies or many little annotations as possible. I know I've had experience where, some people didn't really like that, but I always say, well, it's really not up to me to decide what's important and what's not. I just present the information, and from there, the owner, the realtor, they decide, okay, we want to tackle this or tackle that. So, and then another reason that how I stand apart is I implement what's called a foundation level tool, and that comes standard with every home inspection. It's at no additional cost. It's both a safety blanket for myself and the client, and it helps us better give an opinion as to the performance of the foundation, because again, Texas SOP requires that an inspector say, hey, the foundation is or is not performing as intended, and then here are the deficiencies and why I came to that conclusion. So, and then lastly, what I would say helps me stand apart the most is me, the inspector. And I say that to say this. I mean, I know you guys can't see it on the camera, but I'm 5'3". I'm 150 pounds. I'm what you call subcompact. And you can follow me at the Subcompact Inspector on Facebook and Instagram. And that gives me a clear advantage over, I would say, 95% of my competition, because I'm able to just crawl, squeeze, and pop into areas that the other larger home inspectors are not able to. And I'm inside attics, I'm climbing on the ceiling joists, I'm bear crawling. It doesn't matter. I'm able to get to those spaces.
You know what? I love that. I just love that about you, because it's so true. So I went out and And depending on, I mean, normally I have the client go out and take a look at the property. If my client's not available, I usually try to come in the last 30 minutes of inspection, and went out there, went out to the property to meet Ali. And I was like, no kidding, like I am taller than him and I'm bigger than him. Maybe by 10 pounds, I don't know. Right. But, but it was really great. It was really great to see you and really know that you're not kidding and that you can access spaces where a lot of inspectors can't. And that's just what's so, I mean, there's no, and you are the size that you are, the size that you are. I love
Yeah.
all people, all shapes and sizes. I don't care. And it's nice to have to have a small guy for inspection so that way he can get into the crawl spaces in the attic and the pier and beam and underneath, right? You had to crawl underneath the house that we had,
Yeah.
getting up underneath there. So I just love it. I love it. I love it. So so with this being Tips Tuesday, so we do this Tips Tuesday, the first, second, and third Tuesday of the month. I'm really happy that we had to add an extra week in and to highlight businesses like yourself, to share with everyone that's watching, whoever's watching on the replay. Again, #Rose, to get a hold of Ali. And I mean, Ali, what's the tip for today? What's the tip to give around home inspections for whoever's watching?
Okay, so a good tip is to have your major systems maintenance yearly. That be roof, the gutters, the chimney, the HVAC system. Just look at, give a once over the electrical, the plumbing, and, just to keep your systems optimized. I know in Houston, with roof coverings you have, with asphalt roof coverings, you have a 20-year and a 30-year, and they typically never last that long. And that's mainly because of the weather and because people actually neglect to maintenance it, like keeping the roof covering clean. A lot of people don't realize that roof coverings are water shedding. They're not waterproof. So if there's vegetation, just congesting, it's going to trap water. Trap water will eventually leak into the home. And then that's one of the biggest threats of homes. It's not water itself. It's mismanaged water. Any water that's not flowing away from the property, it's going to affect the structure in some way.
Got it. So tip is maintain your major home items, roof, the air conditioning, the heater, all of that good stuff. Excellent. Wow. I love that. Thank you for that tip. So what do you want to say to close this out?
Okay, so I know since we're veteran owned and operated, I will actually want to say that, we offer veterans discounts, not just on observed holidays. We offer them year round because we know that veterans are very important to us, very important to this country. And I want to give my part back, other than, me actually being served in the military for 6 years. I want to give back to those guys, look out for my brothers and sisters that were overseas, even here, it doesn't matter, even first responders as well. So yeah, we give them year round, and no worries. It's a 10% discount off of standard home inspection. So just keep that in mind, and just look into us next time you may need a home inspection or not.
Right. So they just need a military ID, or what do they need to qualify for that?
Correct. You just either show your veteran designation on your ID, or show us a DD-214, or show us some type of proof that you're a first responder, firefighter, cop, or something to that effect, and a medical personnel, and we'll extend that discount.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. We would not be having this Facebook Live without, our military. This would not be happening today. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name is Michelle Briggs. I'm a realtor with Strata, Texas. This is Ali with Quiroz Inspections. I always ask, like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram. Pretty much all of my social media is, all you have to do is search all you have to do is search RELTR, 4, and the letter U, because I'm the realtor for you. And if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe below. Get Tips Tuesdays, first, second, and third Tuesday of each month. We have Tasty Thursday every Thursday with Tatiana Alonso. We taste wine at 6:30 on Thursday. So join us there. That's the fun one. All right. Thank you, Ali. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. See you guys.